Hi, beautiful people. Honest Am here, and I want to talk about Blink Twice. It is a movie by Zoe Kravitz. It is her directorial debut. In my eyes, this movie is a fucking masterpiece. Dear Zoe, I love you. I want to know how long it took you to do this movie. I want to know what was your process. I want to know what was your inspiration. I want to know, do you have a prequel, sequel, and a trilogy in mind? Because I have so many questions. Now, I watched this movie twice. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. You have to watch this movie twice. You have to watch this movie twice. So if you need to buy it so you can study the film. Matter of fact, at this point, I'm like, why didn't I just buy this movie? Because I want to study it. Like, that's how good it was to me. Because the reason why I say this movie is a masterpiece, because within the first 7 minutes into the movie, maybe 5 if I'm being nice. 7 minutes into the movie, you know the beginning, the middle, and the end of the movie. 7 minutes in, you know the whole movie. The whole movie is explained. The whole movie, like how we got here, what's going on, where we going, but you don't know it because then you got to go into the movie, and then once you watch the movie, then you realize like, oh shit. All the layers were there. So I want to say, let's talk about their performances. I thought Naomi Aki, who plays Frida, she did so fucking good in this movie that there was this one scene. I keep saying that this is the female Get Out, and it is. Like, I just cannot stress this enough. This movie is the female version of Get Out. There was a scene that she did that mirrors this scene in Get Out so well, and I was just kind of like, for a minute, I'm like, is that the same actress? Like, it took me out. It took me a minute because I'm like, damn, like she just looked like the lady. And I'm like, I had to literally just go and look. And yeah, she was not in Get Out. So that was not her. Channing Tatum, bro. This is his movie. This is the first time that I've ever watched a film from Channing Tatum and I did not see Channing Tatum. Like, he's fine, he's all, but that was Slater King. That was Slater King. Like, it was just something, like, he played this role so fucking well, and I think he played this role so fucking well, and he was able to disappear into this role because his wife was the fucking director. It was a safe space for him. I genuinely believe it was a safe space for him, and he was able to play this role. And if that wasn't the case, then I'm worried. Channing, do you have some secrets that you need to tell us, nigga? Because I'm worried. Like, you play, like, I'm telling y'all, it's not Channing. Like, I did not see Channing Tatum, like, at all. Like, when he pulled up in a Wolverine versus, Deadpool, like, that's Channing Tatum. When you watch this movie, you are not going to see Channing Tatum. That's Slater King. And all I'm gonna say, because I really, oh my God, it's already 3 minutes in. How? It's like so much I want to say. Okay, second watch. First thing I want to know: how long was Frida on that island the first time? Like, the second watch is so much worse than the first watch because you watch it again and you see that it was a trap. I feel like Frida was his first real experiment on seeing how far he can go. He knew that the perfume can change. Okay, so before let me spoiler alert. So this movie is all about a billionaire named Slater King who has this private island. This movie opens up where we have our protagonist, the start of the movie, Frida. She's looking at this thing. Now, when the movie first opened, there's an image of a lizard. And the thing about it, if you look at it, like it looks like it's a memory. Like, she keeps seeing this lizard in her mind, but she doesn't know why she keeps seeing this lizard in her mind. She just knows that it's something about this lizard. If you would keep watching the movie, she even had the green lizard on her nails. Like, so this is how much this image was in her mind, but she didn't know why. Like, like she was just like, why am I thinking about this lizard? And so she goes to this, to this fundraiser. And the reason why this film is so brilliant is because there are so many clues. Like, there is like Everybody is telling us that this has already happened before. Her manager, when she comes into the break room and, you know, she's about to get ready to work, he tells her, you know, last year you were way too chatty. We don't want that shit this year. You need to be more professional. You need to be invisible. When she finally get introduced to Slater, you know, they have this whole moment and he introduces her to the party and he gives her everybody names. And the guy said something like, are you going to remember that? And she's like, oh, I have an excellent memory. And he said, ha, ha, ha. He laughed. He laughed at her ass. Then the last thing was when his sister came up and he was talking and she was like, I want to be a party pooper, but it's time to go. And when she introduced her to like, Stacy, this is Frida. And she was like, nice to see you. Nice to see you. Not nice to meet you. Nice to see you, because she already knew her. She had already met her before. And so it further goes in to show you the genius of this movie is that when Frida goes back, now mind you, when Slater goes to the room, he started getting nervous. And the reason why he's getting nervous is because he feels like, oh my God, is she going to remember that she's been in this room? Is she going to remember that this was here? And so that's why he's very, very nervous. Mind you, when she comes, I'm sorry, y'all. This movie has me, I have so many things going in my mind. When she first pull up, did you notice how the workers were looking at her? Because they were looking at her like, what the fuck? She came back. Remember when the lady, she saw her and she said, Red Rabbit, she dropped her stuff because she realized like, this shit is so much deeper than what I realized. And that's why I just kept like, literally y'all, if you look at my notes, all I kept saying is, how long was Frida on that island the last time? How long was Frida on that island the last time? And how the fuck did she even get away? Think about it. For all of the workers to recognize her, for the maid to know her, for the sister to remember her, that means that she was not just there for no weekend. She was not no quick trip. I think Frida was on that bitch for months. For months. I think he experimented on Frida. That's why I'm like, I need a sequel, I need a prequel, I need a trilogy, okay? I need Zoe to just show the layers of this. But then we keep going into the movie and, you know, everybody's just having a good time. You know, like there, you know, we see the lipstick in there and she's saying better luck next time. Like, it's just and then the other thing that I want to say, because I cannot even go in depth like I want to, when Slater had asked her, how did you get that scar? And she just smiled and said, I don't know. That nigga laughed at her face. He laughed. He laughed because he knew, he realized like, oh my God, this bitch is done. Like, I got this bitch. I got this bitch. And the reason why you need to watch this movie twice is because the first time that I watched it, I was like, oh, like when the ending happened, I like when he started being like, oh my God, what happened to Luke? What happened to, you know, because shit goes down, the women wake up, they kill everybody, revenge, and it's a beautiful thing to see. And at first I was like, oh, is somebody controlling him? Because he, you know, like I thought she gave him the perfume and then he stopped forgetting what he was doing. And I was thinking like, oh, well, maybe he's really innocent. But on the second watch, you watch it again and you see that this was a trap. This was a scheme that Ty set up, and he was doing, I think that Frida was his first experiment to see how far he can go. And I bet you that perfume is like, it's just so much, y'all. The last thing that I want to say is that I didn't recognize from the first watch versus the second watch. Remember Luke? Remember he came to the table with his eye all fucked up, and he was like, they were like, damn, dude, what happened to your eye? And he's like, ha, ha, ha. Luke was also like the females. Slater, like, did you notice that Slater was never getting too sexual with Frida? Because Slater was fucking on Luke. Slater was fucking on Luke. And you won't even pick up on it until you watch the movie again. last thing I'm gonna say, Zoe, this bitch is a masterpiece because even though it is a very sensitive subject matter and they give us the trigger warnings, Zoe does this so brilliantly that she gives us just enough to understand what's going on, but not to re-traumatize or re-victimize anybody who's actually been in that situation. She really uses she really uses the audience imagination to imagine what would have happened, because we never ever got to see what actually happened to those other women. All we saw was their reactions to remembering what happened to them. And clearly, like when his sister just dropped all them fucking them candies all over the floor, like what the fuck was she seeing? Was she finally remembering all those women that she's been burying and all those bodies she gotten rid of? Because that's the other thing. How many bitches has Slater killed? How many women has he done this to? Because when he had to kill people, like, remember, they were literally on a property. He said, we have a pest problem. He literally had the staff going around killing the snakes because they were biting the women and making them remember. So how many women got killed? Like, how many women has he killed? Like, that's what I'm saying, all the layers. Like, you could just keep going on and on and on. I need to talk to Zoe. Like, Zoe, can we please? Like, I need a very in-depth interview about this movie. If nobody wants to talk about it, Zoe, please, I have so many questions. I really need to know what the fuck was going on that goddamn island. How long was Frida there last time? How did Frida get away? And the fucked up thing about it all is that he did all this shit to her. He abused her. He didn't even get her his fucking number. He didn't even try to get in contact with her because he said, oh, I'll see you again. And he did. So I'm wondering, like, did he do something to her mind? Like, I want to know. Go watch this movie, y'all. Go watch this movie. Like, it is so good. It is so good. And I'm probably not even doing it justice. But go watch this movie. Masterpiece. Beginning to end, a masterpiece. And even there was this part where I was like, oh, Zoe's very clever. Like, she's really, really clever. There was a scene when the women was waking up and, like, you know, oh my God, that little Mexican lady was trying so hard to make her remember. But anyways, there was a scene where, you know, she realized, okay, my friend got bit. That's why she remembered her. That's why they killed her. Okay, the housekeeper, she was drinking the venom. Like, she got really scared. And that's the other thing, like, there was so many parallels. Like, yes, this is talking about, you know, the Epstein Islands and all of this stuff, but it's also a commentary on society. It's also a commentary on how we can easily forget. It's also a commentary on how, you know, we have selective memory. Thinking about, like, R. Kelly and the P. Diddy, like, it doesn't, like, we can say, you know, oh my God, we can't believe that they are getting arrested. But the fact of the matter is, we knew R. Kelly was peeing on little girls, and we knew that, like, literally it was a joke that he was the Pied Piper. Like, we knew who he was. But yet, when he actually has to be held accountable for his actions, now all of a sudden everybody's like, oh my God, how did we know? Very selective fucking memory. We pick and choose what we wanna remember. We pick and choose on when we think something is, like, you know, it's something that we want to know. And it makes me, you know, the quote they keep saying is like, forgiveness is a gift. And, forgetting is a gift. And there was this scene where he, you know, Slater was getting really mad, and he was like, you know what? And honestly, that's the problem with my sister. Like, she could be free if she would just forget, but she remembers all this shit from childhood and blah, 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 blah. And I literally was like, this is how my family feel about me. Like, it is funny because the people that remember things, the people that want to hold people accountable, these are the people that we shame. These are the people that we do black sheeps. Like, I literally just wrote a tweet about this. I'm like, everybody want to talk about Diddy. Everybody want to talk about why didn't nobody come forward? Why didn't anybody speak up? Why was all these people do blah, 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 blah. But it's like, there are people in your family right now that is being mistreated and abused, and you don't say shit about it. You don't do shit about it. You don't even try to comfort that person. So don't, like, it's like, this is a human thing. And this is also why the film is so fucking brilliant, because it's not just talking about the predators. It's also talking about the people that sit there and don't do nothing. It talks about the people that are held accountable. It talks about those people that willingly choose ignorance, willingly want to forget about what they're doing because they don't want to actually, because they think this is the world and this is how it goes. So who am I to stand up for it? Like, everybody, oh my God, okay, I gotta go. But yeah, this movie, it's just to me, like, everybody deserves to be loved and protected. Everybody deserves to have somebody to stand up for them. And like, this movie was just so brilliantly done. And like, Zoe, I would love to talk to you about this movie from like beginning to end. I just think it's a masterpiece. Like, everything about this movie, like, she tells you what this movie is going to be about, how it's going to end, and why she ended that way the first 7 minutes. And to me, that is just, as a writer, that's amazing. And honestly, I'm probably going to be studying this movie. It has been a very long time since the last movie that had me this excited was Ready Player One. So just, right, go figure. That's two totally different things. But this is the last time that I have been so excited about a film, and just wanting to talk about it and wishing that others will talk about it as well. But that is all I have. Haven't seen Blink twice. I may record this again because I really want to do a review on this, and I want more people to understand it and to talk about it. But you have to watch it twice. It's hard to watch it twice, but you gotta watch it twice just to even get it. All right, y'all. Please watch this movie. If you did watch it, comment down below. How long do you think Frida was on that island the first time? And also, the last thing I want to say, Paul, what's the face? What was her friend? What was her friend name? Poe Jess. Like, you have to be so careful who your friends are, because Jess knew from jump, like, this wasn't really something that she wanted to do. Before she even got bit, she was like, you don't feel this. It's like, she was just like, she was already going through it even before she got bit. And I think that's because she was, she was just seeing the weirdness of everything. And yeah, so just be careful who your friends are, and just be mindful of, it doesn't matter who a person is, if they are a celebrity or athlete, whatever it is. Don't just be getting in planes and taking off with people and you don't know where you're going. Like, it sounds exciting. It sounds adventurous. Like, I can see how any girl can end up in that situation, but it is very dangerous. And the other thing, last thing I'm gonna say, the other thing that was so genius is that he introduced all those girls to them. Like, he introduced a group like they all knew each other, but they didn't know each other at all. They were just a whole bunch of random girls, and they knew that if the women never talked, like, they used the competitive nature of women against them. It was like, they're never gonna talk to each other. They're never gonna figure out, like, do you know this guy? Do you know that? And they used it to their advantage, and then they took advantage of those women. Sad. Okay, all right, I can't talk about it no more. I gotta move on. But please go watch Blink twice. It was such a great movie. I can literally go on about it forever and ever. If you do watch it, comment down below and let me know what you thought about it. But are you in it? Do you want to see a sequel or prequel? Comment down below. Talk to you soon. Honestly, I'm out.